Well, good evening and welcome to the National Virtual Expo. I'm Rob Malicki on Garigal Land in Sydney. Welcome to this session on Charles Sturt University. We are so lucky in Australia to have so many incredible regional universities. And when it comes to regional universities, one that really stands out here in New South Wales is, of course, Charles Sturt. It's got an incredible footprint across many parts of the state and has some incredible areas of expertise as well. And to that end, I'm very grateful this evening to be joined after hours by Andrew from Charles Sturt Uni. Mate, thank you so much for joining me at the National Virtual Expo.
G'day, Rob. Nice to thank you for having me as well. Nice to be
here. It's great to have you here. Which campus are you on? I'm assuming you're on one of the campuses tonight.
I sure am. I'm at our Wagga Wagga campus. I'm coming to you from Wagga, which is not too cold tonight, but it's good.
Magnificent. I visited the Wagga campus last year in the middle of the year. It was this beautiful, crisp Wagga morning. It was foggy, and then the fog burnt off, and it was just that perfect Riverina kind of day, you know, the perfect blue skies. And I loved the campus, like amazing vibe there. So it must be a pretty nice place to work, I imagine.
It's pretty good. I was just coming in here before, and there's kangaroos just outside my office here. It's pretty awesome.
And we might touch on that a little bit later. If you're joining us from overseas or watching this on the replay from overseas, if you want a classic Australian experience, what better place to go and experience it than in a place like Wagga? Well, we call it Wagga, but the overseas people might say, "Oh, it's Wagga Wagga." You might need to explain that at some point as we go, Andrew. But without further ado, maybe we can get into you've got a presentation for us. And look, ladies and gentlemen, as we go, if you have questions, whether you're on social media or you're on the session hub, you can just drop them in the chat or in the comments. They will come through to us. And basically, like as we go, I'll be jumping in to throw some of those questions to Andrew. So please put your questions up. Yeah, how about we do it, Andrew? Let's get into your presentation about CSU.
Sounds awesome. So thank you. So Charles Sturt, so my name, I guess my role here is I'm what they call an engagement support officer at Charles Sturt University. So I work in our future student team. So tonight I'm just going to go through a little bit about Charles Sturt University, and hopefully I'll be able to answer some of your questions you may have. So just so we can get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a quick acknowledgement of country. So we respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we live and work together. Charles Sturt University and its staff pay respect to elders within First Nation communities and acknowledge the continuity of cultures, languages, leadership and knowledge systems. We acknowledge First Nation peoples' continuous connection to country, recognising the unique, diverse identities and cultures of peoples in our communities, regions and nations. As such, we value the collaboration to strongly position First Nation peoples in our university through languages, leadership, cultures, knowledges, research and ceremonies. And I'm coming to you tonight from Wiradjuri country, which is in Wagga Wagga. So I'm going to start off with why study at Charles Sturt University, which is a good question. So this is pretty amazing. So for the last 8 years running, Charles Sturt University has been the #1 public Australian university for graduates who get jobs. So what that means, out of all the universities here in Australia, just over 89% of our students have a full-time job within 4 months of completing their degree, which is what it's all about. It's coming to university to get that degree so you can go and work in that particular career. The other amazing thing is we have one of the highest starting salaries as well. So a lot of our students usually start on around 65,000 straight out of university, which is amazing. But some of the, I guess, the main reasons why people come to Charles Sturt University. So we are all about doing hands-on learning. So you'll find all our classes, we actually have small class sizes, so we can actually afford to give you guys plenty of hands-on learning experiences. So you'll find we do what we call practical classes, where you'll be in our labs and facilities learning all hands-on work. Plus, we also do workplace learning, where we'll send you guys out to the industry to learn from people in the actual industry, which is one of the best ways to learn. And we also do internships, but you're getting those real world experiences while you're here. So when you do graduate, you can then go straight into your career and you're ready to go, you know what to do. So here are some of our facilities. So if you want to do, say, vet science, you get to use our vet science clinical centre and equine centre, which is based here at the Wagga Wagga campus. So we have our own fully operating vet clinic, so it's very hands-on. At our Bathurst campus, we have state-of-the-art engineering labs. And we also have, for example, medical imaging, anatomy, physiology, and nursing labs across our campuses. So as you can see there in the pictures, it's all very, very hands-on. Another big one, which is amazing, which is our paramedic simulation clinic at our Port Macquarie and Bathurst campuses. And also here at Wagga, we've got a 2,000 hectare farm. So if you're looking to do agriculture, you're out on the farm from day one, which is awesome, doing hands-on work in the paddocks. So all that doing the hands-on work. And here are some of the other reasons why a lot of people do choose to come to Charles Sturt. So basically you can get recognised for prior learning experiences. So if you're a mature age student and you've been out of school for a while and you've been working in the industries for different things, we'll actually recognise what you've already done in your career, and that can actually help you get into our courses. And you may even get some subject credit depending on what course you're going into. We do also have a heap of industry connections. So we actually contact the industries and say, okay, what do you want from our students? And the industries will say, yep, they need to be able to do this, this, and this. So we tailor our courses to cover all those areas. So when you guys finish your degree, you're going to get straight into a job there, which is what it's all about. We also have online flexibility. So what that actually means, a lot of our courses, like over 70 of our undergraduate courses, are offered online. So you can actually study anywhere. As long as you've got internet access, you can do our courses. And the best part about that is you might already be working in another career, and you can actually pick up part-time study online, and you might do 1 or 2 subjects to start off with. But then you might say, you know what, I'm doing this pretty easily. I want to get through my course a bit faster, and you can pick up a 3rd or 4th subject to get through your course a bit quicker each semester, which is really good. Or it might go the other way. You might have family commitments and things, and you might say, you know what, I want to start off on 2 subjects, but if that gets too much, you can cut back to 1 and take your time getting through that course. So we'll work around your family commitments there as well. Again, you still do practical classes, even if you do study online, and that's what we call our work placement. So you may actually come into one of our campuses from time to time for a couple of weeks during the year, and that's where you'll do your hands-on work. So if you're doing nursing, for example, you can potentially come to one of our campuses and you'll be in our labs for a week or 2, and then you go back home after that, which is pretty good. And we also have a heap of scholarships and academic support to help you. But one of the big differences as well is we are a friendly university as well. So our staff are actually here to help you, and we are an inclusive student community here. Here's some examples of some of our industry connections. So at Wagga, we actually have a big agri park, which is a whole range of leading agriculture businesses that are actually based on our campus here with us as well. So actually working with us. And we also have connections and industry connections with New South Wales Government for New South Wales Health, and also Transgrid. Transgrid, they actually work with us there, and they give us a $20,000 scholarship to a lot of our students who are studying engineering, which is awesome. So if you're studying engineering, I think there's about 10 Transgrid scholarships we give away each year, and they're all around that $20,000 to help cover your costs and things, which is amazing. So there's a couple of examples, but we've got them all across different industries. All right, so some of the careers, we've got a whole range of careers for you to pick from. So if you're not too sure what you want to do, yeah, if you're in school in year 11 or 12 and you're sort of thinking, I really don't know what I want to do, or even if you're an older, I was going to say older, mature age student, and you might be thinking, oh, I want to change careers, I'm not sure what I want to do, chances are we've got something that may interest you. So as I said before, we've got agriculture, we've got environmental sciences, there's also animal vet sciences, arts and communication, business, if you want to get into business, there's education and teaching, IT and medicine and health, policing, law, security, psychology, and social work, just to name a few. So there's a whole range of options there to pick from. And my advice is, if you're not too sure, definitely jump on our website and have a look at some of the courses, and then definitely contact us as well, and we'll go through it all with you.
Hey, Andrew, can I just chip in there? So I had a couple of questions come through the chat here. There's a student asking, this may be the same student, but I'll put the two questions together. The question, they're asking about agribusiness and or business. So firstly, if you could talk a little bit more about those. But then in terms of campuses, how do you know which campus particular subjects are taught on? And maybe if I could drill down on that a little bit further, like, are there certain campuses that, like, okay, you want to do policing, you're definitely going to be at this place, you know what I mean? Or this is the place to be.
Yep. So on the first question there, so business and ag business. So you've got just a normal straight business course, which is like business management and business studies, where you'll cover everything to do with business. But then there's also ag business. So ag business, you will touch on some of those business, where you will do a lot of those business subjects like business management and business marketing, but it's tailored more to the ag industry. So you'll learn all about how, a lot of, agriculture students will be planning on going to work on a family farm or a business on a farm, but they need to know how to make money off that farm. So you need to know how to run the farm as far as the management of it. But you also need to know that the marketing, how you're going to market your livestock or your crops, whatever you're growing there. And how you're going to make money. So they look at all that. They also look at things like the economic side of it as well. So you look at all the, the trades. And okay, what's the exports like of livestock going overseas at the moment, or crops? How are we going to utilize all this? So basically, you'll cover all that as part of ag business, which is really, but it'll have a real focus on ag. Where business will cover everything. You can go down that ag business path if you want to, but you can go into other areas of business as well. So management, marketing, depending where you want to work, but it covers everything for business. So, and your other question was about the locations.
Yep,
so
locations.
You'll find I'm about to go into that actually. We've actually got 6 main campuses. So I'll just bring that up
Would
here.
you want to go into that? Or like maybe let's go to your slides, and then if that doesn't cover off this specific question, then maybe we jump back into that. How's that sound?
Yeah, no problem at all. So you'll find we've got 6 main campuses. So on the map here, you'll see on the left-hand side, you've got Port Macquarie, Dubbo, Orange, Bathurst, Wagga and Albury-Wodonga. So they're your 6 main campuses we've got. So each campus is set up differently. So if you want to do, say, a lot of our allied health courses, you can choose to go to, for example, you can go to Albury-Wodonga, Port Macquarie or Bathurst. If you want to do, say you do want to do ag and that's your main area, you come to the Wagga campus because we've got the farm here on campus and all the agriculture facilities here in the Riverina at Wagga that you'll be working with. If you want to do, say, medicine or dentistry, you go to our Orange campus. That's where the facilities are for that. And we've also got some smaller campuses too. So you've got Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne, but you've also got Wangaratta Regional Study Centre in Victoria, and you've got a small campus in Parramatta there too. So they're, some of them are specialised campuses, the Canberra one and the Wangaratta ones. But then you also have, like, if you're studying online, you can, and you live in Sydney or Melbourne, you can potentially go to those campuses there as well. The other big thing, if you are online, is if you're near one of those campuses at any point, you can actually still access those campuses as well. So you can go in and use facilities while you're there, which is amazing. You have access to that side of it, which is great. Also, yeah, that's right. Well, we're actually Australia's largest regional university. So, and that's why we all, through New South Wales especially. But you'll find, I guess the other thing too is some courses you can actually choose. Yeah, they're offered across multiple campuses. So, for example, nursing, you can go to Albury-Wodonga, Wagga, Bathurst and Port Macquarie. So you can pick which campus you want to go to. Paramedicine, you can go to either Bathurst or Port Macquarie. Physio, you can go to Albury, Orange or Port Macquarie. So there's a few different choices just depending which course you want to do. But when you do jump on our website and look at that course, it'll tell you what campus that course is available at, which is really good.
And so then, Andrew, is it possible to then jump between campuses? If, I start at Port Macquarie and then life wants to lead me to Bathurst and my course allows me, is that possible?
It is. So, for example, one of my student ambassadors here last year, she's a nursing student and she was studying here at Wagga Wagga, and she was here for about a year, but she decided she then wanted to move to Bathurst. So I'm not sure, I think she had a family up there that way. So she wanted to move to Bathurst, and she was able to transfer to the Bathurst campus and still be in the same spot in her course. So that is possible as long as that course is offered at that campus. We can usually try and do it. It just also depends as well. So some courses, for example, at Port Macquarie, sometimes they're limited on numbers that they can take at that particular campus. So as long as there's a vacancy, they can get you into that campus, they'll try and do it. It just will depend on as long as there's vacancy there, I guess, is the other big thing.
Can I just speak quickly to the people who might be watching this from a big city somewhere? Because the opportunity, we say so much here in Sydney. Sydney, cost of living here is out of control. It's nuts. And, there's this kind of mindset that, I should just go to the uni that's down the road from me. Can I just pitch you this idea that you can move away for university, and that maybe, just maybe, getting out of a big city is going to suit you better. And the beautiful thing about Charles Sturt is this footprint of campuses just gives you so many options. You need a bit of a slower pace of life, less stress, lower cost of living, maybe a scholarship. Look at some of the Charles Sturt campuses, Port Macquarie, Bathurst, Wagga Wagga. These are beautiful places, great communities. And maybe, just maybe, by looking a little bit outside the box, what you thought about before, it actually might be just the best thing for your life in general. I'm sorry to cut. I'm so passionate about this, Andrew. Some people just don't belong in the city. It's the truth.
And I'm one of those people. I lived in Sydney for a while, and no offense, Sydney, but I couldn't stay there. So I also lived in Canberra. I've come back to Riverina, and I love it back here. What I love is that I can literally leave work and be home in 5 minutes. It's great. It's so good. But also the cost of living, as you mentioned, is so much cheaper, and also free parking everywhere, which is amazing on our campuses. So you have to pay for parking. It's great. So just little things like that, it all adds up.
You know what I love? And so you can probably tell, I'm kind of country Australia in my heart. I grew up in the city, but I'm a country boy at heart. What I love when you get outside, into some of these places, people say hello to you. This sounds crazy. I walk down my street, my neighbours don't say hello to me. But you walk down the street in country Australia, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this from overseas as well, country Australia is friendly. It's friendly, it's engaging, it wants to know who you are. There is just this magic of being in places like Wagga Wagga, like Albury, like Bathurst, where the community is strong, people are looking out for each other, and maybe, just maybe, that's actually you. So I strongly recommend people to just shelve whatever expectation you may have had if you're living in the big city, and really have a think about who you are in your heart, because maybe a place like CSU is really you and you just didn't know it.
And one of the best things about that too, as you're just touching on there, it's literally a community there. So everyone gets to know everyone really well, especially if you're living on campus. You'll find that most people will move here, say to Albury or Wagga or Bathurst, whatever campus, they won't know anyone when they first get there. But within that first few days, they meet so many people, everyone is in the same boat. They've all traveled from different places, and they all become best friends. They're all friends on Facebook and everything by the end of that week, and they're all getting involved. And that's one thing we do focus on, is a social side there and community side, to actually get you guys out meeting other people from outside your course, and make some of your best friends by doing that, which is, it's an awesome experience.
Yeah, awesome. I might hand back to you, mate. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going because I'm excited. I love to.
No worries at all.
So let's keep going with the presentation.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, you can study online. So even if you are from Sydney or Melbourne or somewhere outside one of our campuses and you aren't too sure about moving on campus, that's fine. You can study online as long as you have that internet access. As I mentioned here earlier as well, we have 70 or over 70 undergraduate courses that are available online. So we're actually one of Australia's leading online universities. And sometimes you can actually choose to study online, or you can also choose to go on campus. So you might start off online, and then you might decide later on that you want to actually go on campus. You can do that. You can swap over. And so, as long as that course is offered on campus, you can actually switch over from online to on campus, or vice versa as well. You might start off on campus and decide later you want to study online. You can do that. It's called mixed mode, which is good. Also, you'll find that the online courses include short, intensive learning sessions. So we actually will, with part of our portal, our student portal, it's called, you guys can log in there and you can actually log into your class if it's live and watch that class live. And if you can't get there, they'll record it and you can actually watch it back at a time that suits you. So if you've got to go to work during the day and you can't make it to class, that's fine. They'll record it. You just log on when you're ready and you can actually watch that recording back. And the best part about that is you can actually fast forward bits if you need to, but you can also rewind the actual recording as well and go, hang on, I didn't quite get that. I want to go back over it again. And you can rewind and pause different parts of it, which is really good. So, and even if you are studying on campus, you can still do all that as well. Online students, though, the other big thing is even if you're online, you still do have access to all our campus and facilities that you guys get to use as well. So, for example, at our campuses here in Wagga, for example, we've got a free gym. So if you're studying online, you're going to be in Wagga that week and you want to use a gym, you have free access to it. Same with our library, everything on campus, our facilities, you guys have your student card, it'll give you access to everything, which is great. So yeah, even though you're online, you're still definitely part of the university experience as well, which is great. So this is one thing I just wanted to bring up with you. If you are thinking of traveling, Charles Sturt University has this awesome program. It's called CSU Global. And as part of our courses, you can actually go overseas as part of your course. And you can do like an internship, or you can do an exchange program, or you can go for a short 2 to 6 week program overseas at another university and do part of your course from there. So we are really big on this. You can't do it in your first year of study, but once you get to your second, third, fourth year, we have a team here that actually helps set this up for you as well. So how this actually works is some of our courses, part of the course, the teacher will organise to take a group of students to a certain country, and they'll learn on that particular course in that country. So, for example, our ag students, in the past, they've gone to Vanuatu and they've seen how they grow different crops over there. And I've seen a student in the past who's done a internship overseas as well. And he went overseas for, I think it was 12 months, and went to Kentucky University in America to study his course over there as part of, to see what it's like it was actually doing agriculture as well, but to see what it was like doing agriculture over there compared to over here. You got that experience as well. So CSU Global will actually help set it all up for you and organise everything. And they've got scholarships to help pay for a lot of that for you. So if you do want to travel, that's a really good opportunity for you while you're here.
Can I jump in? There's a question come through on the chat there saying, I've never been overseas before. Is that a problem?
No, we actually will help you with everything. So we'll help you with the passports, with the insurances, the whole lot, and we'll organise your itinerary, everything. And as I said, we'll be able to also potentially give you scholarships to help you go over there. You can also, with part of that, if you want to, you can put up to a certain amount onto your HEX and pay it back later as well if you want to. So it's a pretty cool experience, but it's an awesome opportunity and looks good in your resume if you can go to a future employer and say, hey, as part of my university experience, I went and did this as well. It looks really good. So keep that in mind.
Can I chip in my 2 cents worth here, mate? Because I've known about CSU Global. So my first introduction in my first jobs in higher ed were in international education, running student exchanges. Awesome. And CSU Global was and is like one of the pioneers amongst regional institutions with these experiences overseas. Like, has been doing it for so long, has so much experience. And it's so good on your resume, like such an amazing experience, not only on your resume, but culturally, personally, professionally. So if that's a concern for you, I've never been overseas before, a little bit worried. These guys, CSU Global, have been doing it longer than basically anyone in terms of regional institutions. So you'll be in very, very good hands. And do it. Just do it. It's the best thing ever.
And it's just a great life experience as well. So to do it. So can't recommend it enough.
Exactly. And like the number of stories, like I just can think back, this goes back 20 years. Hearing stories about how the team at CSU were working so closely with faculty to design these experiences, and the attention to detail around making it a safe and enjoyable experience for students, making sure that the learning you do overseas is something that you don't get back home, the partnerships. Just the attention to that detail has always been really strong at CSU. So I just want to throw some flowers to the team that have been doing that for a long, long time, because it really is worth shouting out. But I think that's enough from me. I'm going to jump out of the way, mate, let you go on with it.
No
Otherwise, I'll
worries at
keep
all.
talking about this for hours.
That's no problem at all.
Sorry. I took you off stage and I put myself on stage. So I'm going to back to you, Andy, if you don't want to start that slide again.
All right. Yep. So this is just some of our support services we offer. So while you're studying with us, we have obviously academic support. So our academics are there to help you. So we can actually make an appointment with them whenever you like. If they usually have an open door policy too, which means that if you go up to their office or during the day, if their door is open, they'll stop and actually help you. If they're closed, usually means they're in a class or they're away, but they'll give you contacts to get onto them as well, which is great. We have accessibility and inclusion support. There's equity support, First Nations student support. We've got health and counselling if you need it. There's a whole range of support services there, and it's all free, which is great. We also have a heap of student services to help you guys. So there's accommodation, as mentioned, on campus. So we have our own accommodation team. It's called Residence Life, or Res Life, we call it. They are actually there to help you when you first arrive, and they're there the whole time you guys live on campus for support as well. But we also have, as part of that staff, we have what we call residential leaders, or RLs for short, and they're actually older students who are there like a big brother or sister, who we train them to help you when you first arrive and to introduce you to everyone. And so they'll take you out for social activities, they'll get you involved in different sports, just to meet other people, to have a bit of fun, to have a bit of a break from study. But they'll also help you out too if you do get lost and you do need some help as well. They'll help you with all that sort of stuff, which is great. We've got careers advisors to help you with your career planning, library support services, StudyLink, which I'll touch on in just a minute, and Student Central. So this is your first point of contact once you're a student. If you have any questions, you can go see our Student Central office, or you can actually, on our student portal, you can chat to them on the portal, or give them a call as well, whatever's easier for you. But they're there to help you through any questions that you may have, which is awesome. Okay, so StudyLink, what this is, these are free online self-paced subjects or courses that you can do. So how it works, say you haven't studied for a while and you might go, oh, hang on, I've got to do a chemistry subject, I've got to do a biology or a maths, and I haven't done that for a long time. You can actually pick up what they call a StudyLink subject for that particular area, for say chemistry, for example, and usually takes anywhere from about 2 weeks to 6 weeks to do. You do it completely online, little modules. And that'll actually, it's like a refresher to bring you up to speed where you should be in your course. So if you find you haven't studied for a while, or you didn't do those subjects in year 11, 12, and you get to uni and you think, oh, I kind of need a bit of help with this, they're great little refreshers to bring you up to speed where you should be. And it does make a big difference. I know one of my academics here I spoke to recently, I asked him, I said, do you see a big difference between students who study StudyLink and the ones who don't? And he said, it's huge. The ones who do StudyLink are the ones who are usually getting credits and distinctions, and the ones who don't do StudyLink are the ones who are just passing but are normally failing in subjects. So can't recommend this enough. It's free if you're a student, but if you're not a student, say you're in year 12, you can actually do it now. They range, depending on the subject, it'll range anywhere from $100 to about $300 to do, but it's a great refresher. So you can do it before you even become a student if you like, and you don't even, well, the other thing there I sort of say was, you don't even have to be potentially coming to study with us. You can still use that as an option if you are looking to go into other university too, potentially. But if you're in year 12, it's a great resource to use. So can't stress that enough.
Can I jump in on that, mate?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people might be hesitating about what to do next. All right. And maybe they're thinking, oh, I'm not ready to go into uni, or uni's not for me. This is the kind of opportunity that you can take up during a gap year. I hate the expression gap year. Think of it like an exploratory year. This is your chance, this chance in life that you get to go out there and try different things. Maybe get a bit of work experience, maybe do a little bit of travel, but do some study, do a little online course, right? Do some online courses through CSU, get that taste for some different subject areas, and maybe that helps you figure out what you're actually built for. right? Wouldn't you say, Andrew? Like, just
Yeah, definitely.
what an
And
amazing opportunity to be able to go and do that now, rather than
definitely. And you'll find like there's even things like subjects you can pick from, which are things like essay writing for university and things like that, or getting set up and organized for university before you even start. So there's different subjects like that you can pick up. And we say they go for 2 to 6 weeks, but if you haven't got much on, you can knock it over in a week if you want to. They usually go for about 30 hours, and it's all online. But yeah, it doesn't actually give you credits or anything, but it will actually make a big difference to you getting doing well in your subjects, which is good.
but it helps you figure things out. Like, you're not a failure if you haven't figured stuff out yet. Like, welcome to the world. 90% of people never figure their stuff out, right? So like, go and take the time to do other things. Do an internship somewhere, get some work experience, have a taste of some of these like online experiences, online courses, get some skills up, and all that stuff will just help giving you an idea of where the future might suit you best, if that makes sense. And just as you say, Andrew, and then if you do end up at uni, well, the results show that the sort of stats show that you do better. So
Yeah, it's a
it
big
sounds like
difference
nothing
too.
but upside.
Yeah.
Sweet,
Amazing.
mate.
Okay, so accommodation. So we also have accommodation on campus. This is some of the quick few little shots here, but we have a whole range of types of accommodation across our campuses. So you can have what we call single rooms and dormitories. There's cottages, which is like a little house with say 6 to 8 rooms in it. So depending on what campus you go to, they're all a little bit different, but they're all very, very similar as far as what we offer. They've all got shared kitchens, living spaces, and shared bathrooms, but some of them also have their own en suites as well. So they are all quite modern and been refreshed quite well as well. And yeah, accommodation, definitely recommend it. I guess there's that experience when you live on campus. You just get to meet so many people, and not just from your own course, you meet them from other courses as well. As I said earlier, it's like a little community. It's really, really good. You make some great friends from it. If we come across here, so if you are living on campus, they are safe. We've got our own security on campuses as well. They're all secure, so only you can get into your room. So yeah, it's like I guess like a motel, little card. Your student card is what lets you in. We do guarantee first-year students a place on accommodation, which is great. But the other big thing is all your costs are inclusive. So when we say your accommodation might be $200 a week, that includes everything. That includes your internet, includes your utilities, everything's included. As I said, parking's free. It's all included in that one cost. Where some universities will say, okay, accommodation is this much, but then you've got to pay so much a year for parking, so much a year for internet, and everything else is on top of that. So with us, you just got to bring your own, I guess, clothes, and you're good to go. So it's really good. Yeah.
And mate, like, I spent a lot of time looking at the costs of living and studying in different places. In Sydney these days, I'm picking on Sydney, but it's not necessarily a hell of a lot better elsewhere either. Sydney now, you can be spending up to $800 a week on student accommodation. Melbourne is like 500 to 600. Even places like Brisbane are like in 400s, 500. Like, it's a lot of money to live in the big cities. $200, right? Like, and then you've got everything covered for you. Think about the number of hours you don't have to spend making coffees or pouring beers or doing whatever you do as a casual job, right? True?
Definitely. And you get a social life then as well. We can actually use that time to have a bit of a social life, which is great.
Absolutely, mate.
Okay, so the other thing I want to touch on here is what we call Charles Sturt Advantage. So this is for year 12 students. So this is our early entry program. So if you are in year 12, definitely listen up here for this couple of slides. So Charles Sturt Advantage is our early entry program. What we're going to do is we're not looking at your ATAR. It's a little bit different. We're looking at your year 11 results and what we call your soft skills. So how you show empathy to people and what motivates you. That's what we want to know. How it works is hopefully we'll make you an offer before you sit your final exams. So applications are open now and they close on, there's 2 rounds. Round 1 closes on the 31st of July and round 2 closes on the 31st of August. So it's all done completely on our website. So if you jump on our Charles Sturt University website and do a search box at the top, just type in Charles Sturt Advantage or even just Advantage, it'll take you straight to the page. Or you can just Google Charles Sturt University, Charles Sturt Advantage, and on Google, and I'll take you straight to the page as well. But offers will be made on the first round, will go out on the 1st of September, and the second round will go out on the 23rd of September. So hopefully you might get an offer. And as I said, we're not looking at your ATAR. This one, we're looking at your year 11 results and also how you show empathy and motivation. So it's a little bit different for us. The reason we are looking at that is we've done a lot of studies with this, and we found that we spoke to the industry and we said, what do you want from students? And they said they need to be able to show empathy and motivation in their career as well, but also empathy, not just to staff, but to also customers and that sort of thing. So that's why we focus more on that, not so much your marks from year 12. So how it works is there's 3 questions we'll ask you. So the first one will be, how will Charles Sturt degree enable you to be a positive influence in your community? You get about 100 words to write there. The second one will be, when you show, so give us an example when you showed resilience during a difficult time, again, about 100 words. And the third one will be, show us when you've demonstrated empathy and why, again, about 100 words roughly. So we'll look at those 3 questions, how you answer them, but then we'll look at your year 11 results as well and see how you go. So hopefully you might get made an early offer in September. And if you accept that, you're basically in as long as you finish the rest of year 12. So basically, yeah, definitely apply for it. And if you don't get made an early offer, we still got other ways. You can still wait for your ATAR, but we've got other ways which I'll go into shortly as well. Here we are. So Charles Sturt Advantage is one way to get in. But another way to get in is if you're a First Nation student, we have what we call a direct entry program. So basically what happens is First Nation students will come onto our campus for around 4 days, 4 or 5 days, and they do a whole range of assessments while they're here. And if they pass them, they do well, that's when they can also be made an offer into different courses. If you're amazing elite athlete or performer, so if you represent at New South Wales or so state level or country level, that can also help you get into our courses. But a big one we have is what we call enabling courses. Now, this one, I'll just spend a second on this. There's 2 courses you can pick from here. So if you have done, say, year 10, but you didn't go into year 11 and 12, or you just haven't studied for a long time, there's a course we offer called Access Charles Sturt Entry. Now, that one is a 6-month course, but when you finish that, that'll help you get into a lot of our courses, and it's free, which is great. So that's one option. But then there's another one called University Certificate in University Preparation. And that's for someone who may have just finished year 12, who didn't quite get the ATAR they needed. They can go into that course. And again, it takes about 6 months. But when they finish that, that'll also help them get into a whole range of courses. So there's different ways to get in. It's just coming and talking to us, and we'll help advise you the best way. If you don't get the ATAR, it's not the end of the world. Or if you haven't studied before and you're thinking coming to uni and you're not too sure if you're going to have the marks, definitely come talk to us. There's ways in. We'll also look at your life experiences there. Some other quick ones here. Schools Recommendation Scheme. That's for year 12 students through UAC. You can apply for that. There's what we call single subject studies. So this is really cool. So if you think, okay, I want to have a bit of a taster at uni, but I'm not too sure, I've never studied before, you can actually go through and pick up one subject if you want. And you can do one subject to see what it's like. And then if you go, yep, I didn't mind that, you can use that to help go into other courses. Or if you do 2 single subjects, if you do 2 single subject studies subjects and you pass them, that will also get you guaranteed entry into some of our courses as long as they relate to those subjects, which is really good. So that's one option. Another option is if you go to TAFE and you do like a Cert 3, a Cert 4 diploma, that can get you guaranteed entry into a whole range of our courses, which is great. And depending what you've done, if you've done diploma or advanced diploma, you may get subject credit as well. There's also options to transfer. So you might start off in one course in, say, for example, a science course, and then go, you might be doing a Bachelor of Science, and then go after about a year, oh, you know what, I actually really liked, as part of this course, I was touching on the environmental side. I actually want to go into environmental science. You can transfer over, which is really good. So, and we'll recognise what you've done, and that can get you transferred across. And finally, we have what we call undergraduate certificates. So these ones are certificates where you might want to, again, do 1 year of a course. So you might start off doing, say, animal science, for example, and you might do 1 year of that and then say, okay, that's all I wanted to do. And when you finish there after that year, we'll give you a certificate called the undergraduate certificate in animal science. Or you can keep going on and continue on with your bachelor degree if you want to. So there's options available. Just go talk to us and we'll help you. There's always a way to get into uni.
Nice. Mate, can I just pop a question up?
Yep.
This one just came in about early offers. Can you defer an early
Yes.
offer?
Most courses you can. Yes, yeah. So most courses you can. So there's some courses that you can't defer. So it doesn't matter if it's early entry or not, because they're so competitive. So for example, vet science, medicine, dentistry, you can't defer those ones because they are quite competitive. But if you're say doing nursing or you're doing teaching, you can, and you get an early offer, you can defer it if you want to. And so you can just hold your spot for 12 months and then you can start 12 months later if you want to. So that's an option.
Yeah. So once again, guys, if you're in school, apply for an early offer. And if then you want to, you want to take an exploratory year, take time out to go and explore different things and fields of study, like what a perfect security to be sitting there in your back pocket that your uni place is already reserved for you. And then, hey, why not like go and do one of those single subject courses just to have a little bit of a taste, right?
And a lot of
Taste
people
and
do that as well.
yeah,
They'll take the 12 months, but they'll do the study link while they're there. And they'll use that time to save some money if they need to as well. So yeah, definitely an option there if you want to do that. So which is really good.
Actually, and just on that, I'm glad you said like to go and save some money. What about life circumstances, right? Like, let's say you start off at uni, you're doing a semester, and then like life happens. You got to move back out to a regional area to go back and help mum and dad on the farm, or something else pops up and you need to go and save some money. Can you like defer and then come back?
Yeah. So you can usually defer. I think it's for up to 2 years maximum.
Yep.
So you might defer to start off with for maybe a session, which might be 6 months roughly. But then something else might happen in you might come back for 6 months, and then something else might happen where you've got to leave, whatever. You can defer for a maximum of up to 2 years in total.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you can defer for most people. Usually will take a session, or which is usually about 6 months, or they'll take a year if need be, but that happens, and we can usually do that, no problem at all. It's also basically taking some leave if need be, which is fine. So just got to let us know so we can work with you to make that happen.
Yeah. So people, if you're signing up for uni, don't feel like, oh my God, I'm locking myself in for 3 years and I can't change. This is a big misconception about uni everywhere. You can always change. You can change degrees. You can take time out so you can go and study. So you can go back and do whatever you need to do to sort life out in general. You're not locked in for 3 or 4 years solid. And uni can fit around this flexibility that you've been talking about, Andrew, with the online studies and everything. Maybe you need to step out for a while, move somewhere else, and you can continue some of your studies online at a lower load. There is so much flexibility in the system, and people who work in unis, they want you to succeed. Higher education is transformational. Stats absolutely show it. Like someone who's graduated from uni will make like $1 million more over the course of their life. $1 million.
That's right. So that's the thing. A lot of people will go, oh, I know it costs so much to go to uni. Well, a lot of it's deferred, which I'll go into shortly. But also, it just opens up so many doors. If you got that degree, it opens up so many doors, and also your potential to earn more is increased as well. So it pays itself off in the long run.
I think about this too, because you see it in the newspapers, like, oh, it's so expensive in debt. And don't get me wrong, like nobody wants debt. But like, if I was going to say, hey, give me 30 grand for your degree, and then I'm like, and here's $1 million. Like, would you take that deal?
Yes.
Probably would, right? And that's the average, right? That's the average. Some people obviously don't do quite as well. Some people do much better. So yeah.
And that's the thing, as you mentioned as well, like you can change courses there too. Like I've seen, I know I used to have a student ambassador who was, he was studying science, and she decided after a year and a half, she was like, I don't have science. Like I enjoy it, but it's not enough for me. She changed it to accounting and loved it once she changed to accounting. So completely different area, but loved it. So it's just getting your foot in the door is probably the hardest part, getting into uni. But once you do get in, you can swap and change a lot of courses as well, which is great. So
can I make sure just to share a little story, because it's a guy I met not that long ago. Similar story, like we were literally just having at a 50th birthday party, and I was like, oh, what do you do, Ben? And he's saying, oh, I'm an ecologist in Western New South Wales. I went, oh, that sounds like a pretty cool job. And he's like, mate, my job is basically to like look after the ecology in all of Western New South Wales, and I spend half the year camping. out under the stars. I'm just like, wow, that sounds amazing.
So good.
And you guys want to tell me, like, yeah, like my first degree, I finished, I dropped out of uni, and my first degree, didn't really enjoy it, and then ended up going back to uni at Charles Sturt, doing a big chunk of his studies online, when he was in his like mid-20s, and now has landed landed the dream job, right? He's in there for the rest of his life. He's found what lights him up. Because you don't know what you don't know. Like say, he tried something, didn't work out, went and worked for a little while, went back to uni for something he thought he'd enjoy, and now he's set up. So, Andrew, the thing that
So
I'm
good.
really passionate about, yeah, you'd feel the same, right? Because you see it every day. Like,
Yeah.
just don't settle, right? If you end up in something you don't enjoy, change. Like, just change. Rip off that bandage and change, because it's when we change that we find things that suit us better. So never hesitate to make that move if it's not working out for you.
Definitely. Well said. Hey,
Thank
so
you, mate.
I guess that's
do it.
right. So uni costs, so I'll just touch on this quickly. So just so you're aware, there's what we call deferrable costs and there's non-deferrable costs. So deferrable costs are things like if you're an Australian citizen, domestic student, you can defer your course fees and put that onto HEX and pay it back later, which is what a lot of students will do. One of the other deferrable costs is what we call our student services amenity fee. So what that is that's a fee. It's about $32 or $33 per subject you do, and basically it goes to having all the support services available to help you get through your course, which is what the university helps you with. So that fee can also be deferred, which is fine. There's a lot of people do that. You can pay it upfront if you want to, but up to you. The other costs that aren't deferrable are things like textbooks. So if you do want to buy textbooks, you'll need to pay for them up front. However, in saying that, I think a lot of students these days don't really go and buy a textbook anymore. They'll go online and download different ones as well. So depending what you want to do there, but if you do want to buy the old school textbook, you have to pay them up front. And same with like workplace learning. So if you do go, say you're doing nursing, for example, and you go to a different place out in that different town, you'll need to organise your own accommodation if you haven't got any family or friends to stay with. And even things like getting fuel to get to those places, you'll need that sort of stuff. So it's just making sure you prepare and budget for that. And also accommodation, if you're living on campus, that can't be deferred. You obviously pay that weekly. Things like your food, any bills, your mobile phone you might have, any entertainment you want to have for catching up, going to the movies, things like that. They're the sort of things you just want to budget for. So textbook, workplace learning, accommodations, that side of it, you want to, you can't defer that, but course fees and student services amenity fee, you can defer those side onto the HEX there if you want to. So all good. This is how you pay for it though. So at Charles Sturt, we've got over $11 million in scholarships. So this is free money that you guys can actually use when you actually get here. So one thing I do recommend, if you don't take anything else away from tonight, make sure that if you are looking to apply to Charles Sturt University, that you jump on our scholarship page. So again, just Google Charles Sturt University scholarships, take you straight there, or you can jump on our website, there's a search box, just type in scholarships, or take you straight to that page. On there, there's a whole range of scholarships. So for example, there's course-related ones. So if you're doing ag, there's ag scholarships. If you're doing nursing, there's nursing scholarships. There's location-based ones. So if you've lived in a certain area and you've had to move to a certain campus, there's different scholarships for people who have lived in those areas. So you can apply to them. And there's living on campus, so accommodation scholarships as well. And they're about $5,000 for the year. So it covers your cost for the year for accommodation, which is great. There's First Nation ones. There's also financial hardship. So if you get to uni and you go, oh, you know what, something's happened and whatever has happened in your life, you have some financial hardship there, we've got support and special scholarships to help you through those situations, which is really good. And also, if you come from TAFE and you take a course at TAFE, usually a Cert 4 or diploma, you can then apply to our TAFE to uni scholarships, and they're around $2,000 to $3,000 as well. So one thing I recommend is do your research now, see what scholarships are there. A lot of them will be closed at the moment, but they'll open later in the year. You can jump on now and look at the scholarships, what's involved with them, and start preparing for them, and apply to as many as you can. Because if no one else applies to it, we've got to give the money away, right? So if you meet most of that criteria, you've got a good chance of getting it. And you might be lucky and get 2 or 3 scholarships if you're lucky. So it all adds up, and it's all free money if you can get it. So can't stress that enough. That'll help pay some of your costs as well.
Hey, Andrew, can I just, I have to emphasize this because the number of universities I speak to who say the same, like, we don't spend all our money because we just didn't get enough people applying. There is like $11 million. That's so generous. And there's this preconception that people might have, like, oh, I'm not the ducks of my school. Like, I'm not smart. I'm not going to get a scholarship. That's so untrue, isn't it, Andrew?
Yeah. So there are ones for that if you do really well at that. But there's also other ones, like if you're just enrolled into the course, that can make you eligible for a scholarship for that particular course. So you just got to have a look at the criteria, and usually on the criteria they'll have a big list of things they want you to have. But if you don't worry if you don't meet all that criteria. As long as you meet most of it, you're in a chance of getting that scholarship. Because a lot of people will look at it and they'll go, oh, I don't meet that one part of the scholarship, I won't apply to it. But if you just apply to it, see how you go, you'd be surprised. Hopefully you might get one or two or three and see what happens. It all, as I said, it all adds up. So can't stress enough, apply to scholarships.
Can I say, mate, like, I reckon that's just a good piece of advice for life. Like, like so often there's like all these criteria that are put in front of us and we self-exclude ourselves from so many good things when really the person on the other side that's actually doing the admin there, they're a human being. They're just processing paperwork and, maybe they haven't got enough people that have applied for ABC. Like, apply for stuff, even if you don't think you necessarily meet it. You would be amazed how many doors will just open that you're just like, oh, I wasn't even eligible for that, or wasn't fully eligible, but you still tick enough boxes to actually get through that door.
I've seen some cases where we've had our staff calling students in a course and saying, hey, do you want a scholarship? Because we've got to give it away. So yeah, definitely apply to them and see how you go.
Absolutely. Hey, there was another question came through on the chat, not related to scholarships, but just wanted to get this too. Prissy Wong asking about vet science being part of Charles Sturt Advantage.
Okay, it's not, just because it's quite competitive. They only take 60 students a year into that course. So what I would recommend, if you're in year 12 then and you're looking to apply, you want to get into, say, vet science, I would apply for early entry, because you can pick up to 3 courses. I should have mentioned that before, actually. You can pick up to 3 courses you can apply for Charles Sturt Advantage. I would recommend applying for either animal science, Bachelor Animal Science, or Bachelor of Veterinary Technology, or even ag, because that also deals with animals as well. So you can apply to those 2 courses and see how you go. Hopefully you get an offer for one of those, but then still apply for vet science as well through UWAC. So you've still got to apply for vet science, and hopefully they'll ask you to come for an interview for that. But at least what will happen is hopefully we might make you an early offer to, say, animal or vet tech, and you can accept that. At least you're in, you can hold that. And then you can see how you go with vet science. If for some reason you don't get into vet science, you've got the backup course there that you apply for early entry. But what happens there is you'll do that course, or hopefully you'll do that course for maybe a year, and then see how you go. They'll reapply to vet science, and hopefully with that year behind you in that particular course, that will hopefully make you look better again the following year to get into vet science. But it's one of those things. My advice is, for a backup to vet science, is if you don't get into vet science, where would you want to work at the end of the day? Do you want to do animal research and do like animal science? Or do you want to do vet tech and be like a veterinary nurse, for example, and still be in vet hospitals? It's just working out where you want to work at the end of the day if you don't get into, as a backup plan, if you don't get into vet science. But obviously vet science is the goal, but it's just having a backup plan there just in case. Or it could be ag, dealing with livestock and things like that, depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, and look, honestly, there's almost always a way in. Like the number, and you would have heard this term, the number of people that you speak to, and they started off, they want to get into medicine, they start in biomed, they go a couple of years, and they eventually jump across and in. These really high bar entry courses. People start those courses and they drop out. And so if you're already in there, you've already done the first year of subjects anyway. Like, you're kind of an intuitive choice for an institution to say, okay, yeah, we can see that you're doing well at uni, you're getting good grades. We can now bump you up into that higher level. So don't despair if you aren't sort of sitting at the ATAR level or what have you, to get direct entry. If you really want it, there is always another way in.
And I've got a quick example again. I've got another student ambassador who started off doing vet tech because he didn't get into vet science first year. Did a year of that, really studied hard, and also got to meet the lecturers, right, from vet technology, who also teach vet science as well, and got to build those relationships and ask them for advice as well. And then from there, he reapplied to vet science and has now got into vet science this year. So yeah, that's just another example you can get in. But to answer the original question though, is for vet science, you can't apply for early entry, but look at other backup options for early entry.
Good advice. All right.
All right. So one thing I just want to quickly mention as well is strongly recommend coming to this open day. So our open days run in August. So this is a really good way to get a little try before you buy experience, I guess. Come check us out at our campuses. So Port Macquarie is on the Sunday, 2nd of August. Wagga Wagga is on the Sunday, 9th of August. Albury-Wodonga on the Sunday, 16th August. Bathurst on Sunday, 23rd August, and Orange Sunday, 30th August. So this is a fun day where you guys can come on campus, go into our facilities, meet the teachers and lecturers, and actually find out whether it's for you. So strongly recommend, come to this. It's the best way when you actually get here and see what it's like, that's when you're gonna love it. So can't recommend it enough. If for some reason you can't get to open day, my next big advice is come for a campus tour. So we do campus tours all year round, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And what we'll do is we'll have a current student who will take you around for your own personal tour. So this photo here is showing a bigger group, but normally the group's not as big as that. Usually it's just you and the ambassador. So, or your parents might be with you as well. And they'll take you around the campus, show you a one-on-one tour of facilities. The only thing with this one is we can't always get an academic to talk to you on a campus tour because they're in classes and things. That's more for open day, but it's a great way to get a feel of what it's like and see the accommodation on campus as well. So they're free. You just got to get your own way to the campus. So with that one there, we usually ask for at least, I think, 3 working days notice just before you come. But to do that, you just got to jump on our website. On the home page, there should be a little box that appears that says campus tours. And you click on that, it'll take you to the campus tour page and you can book a tour. Or you can also, again, just Google Charles Sturt Uni campus tours. I'll take you straight to our campus tours page. And on there, you can book a tour for whichever campus you want to go to. And it has the times and days that are available. So yeah, definitely a great way to get a feel what it's going to be like at uni and make sure it's for you. So yeah, can't stress them enough as well. And finally, I've also got here we've obviously got our social media you can follow us on. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Jump on and follow us, and yeah, it'll give you a good feel about what's like at Charles Sturt University. Okay.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Great presentation.
That's right.
and I hope we've flown through that, right? I mean, Charles Sturt Uni, so many areas of specialisation and expertise. Yeah, I just remember the wineries, the on-campus winery at Wagga Wagga, practicing winery, one of the only places in Australia, if you're into oenology, that you can go and sort of study that kind of stuff, viticulture. So, there are just so many unique areas and so many unique experiences across those different campuses as well. So I'm really grateful that you've joined us here at the National Virtual Expo to share some of that with us.
That's no problem at all. And yeah, and thanks for having me. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let us know and we'll try our best to answer them for you. So it's no problem.
So if you've been watching this actually on the replay and you do have questions, we do have a Discord, Choosing Uni Discord. Details are down in the session description. And for parents, we have a Facebook group where you can ask your questions. And I believe down on this page as well, if you're on the session hub, there's a little inquiry form too. So if you want to ask a specific question about Charles Sturt, you can just go down there. I think it just says name, email, and what's your question? And we'll make sure we pass that along to the Charles Sturt team to get directly back to you. So if you want to shortcut that inquiry process, feel free just to fill that out and we'll pass those along. Andrew, it's out your window there. It's looking pretty dark. So I think you got to walk back to the car and
I do, yeah.
drive home.
Yeah, at least for me, as I say, I'm literally a 5-minute drive, so I'm not far away, so there's no problem.
Awesome having you at the National Virtual Expo. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. Look forward to seeing you in some of the other sessions over the remaining 2 days of the National Virtual Expo. Of course, everything is then on demand for another couple of weeks. So make sure that you're registered if you're watching this on social media. If you register, you then get extended access for the rest of the year. So there's no rush for you to get through the sessions that you want to see. But everything is on the Expo website on demand for the next 2 weeks as well. Thank you for joining us this evening and have a nice night. Well, I hope you got something out of this session. And if you have any questions at all, you can head to choosingyouruni.com and ask Lumen. Lumen is your AI guide who knows about every university, every pathway, every option that we've talked about throughout this virtual expo. And Lumen is available to talk to you 24/7. So it's ready when you are.